Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Jordan Sini. I'm the Youth Education Coordinator at Borderlands Restoration Network. It's my pleasure to introduce Caleb Weaver as our next speaker. He is the Community Restoration Program Manager at Borderlands Restoration Network. He will be presenting about how humans.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes. Para mí es un placer presentar a Caleb Weaver. Es el Community de Borderlands Restoration Network, es gestión del programa de restauración. Estudió ecología y biología en la Universidad de Arizona. Una de las cosas bueno jugar me ha enseñado mucho acerca de las plantas nativas. Gracias. Gracias, Jordan. Y gracias a todos los que están amables. Ha sido una semana muy exitosa. Y quiero agradecer a todos aquí que han hecho esto posible. A Nick, que nos ayuda con el sonido, el que nos ayuda en la cocina, todos, gracias. Entonces, empecemos con las diapositivas. Muy bien. Una vez más, mi nombre es Caleb Weaver, soy el manager del programa de restauración de esta comunidad. Particularmente voy a hablar de cómo crear un hábitat en casa, creando nosotros estamos en Patagonia, Arizona, y llevamos 10 años trabajando activos. Trabajamos también en la frontera con México, 15 millas al norte y 15 millas al sur. Más que la restauración, nos gusta buscar oportunidades para la comunidad. Una economía restaurativa crea sinergias entre la actividad económica humana y los sistemas naturales para construir una comunidad más próspera, justa y bueno, la pregunta es, ¿por qué queremos crear un hábitat? Bueno, creo que no hay muchos lugares para que la vida salvaje viva. Necesitamos aumentar la biodiversidad en los paisajes dominados por humanos. Debemos de gestionar la biodiversidad de manera que no disminuya la utilidad humana, puesto que es beneficiosa para todos. Esa es una oportunidad para humanos, porque entonces trabajamos con lugares asombrosos para que puedan vivir. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que necesita la vida salvaje para sobrevivir? Simplemente lo mismo que nosotros. Este es un ejemplo grandioso de una planta nativa en Arizona. Es una pine rose nativa.
sphinx moths, which metamorphose from those hornworms, tomato hornworms. Next, they need water, and water can be
La
something
comida
simple like a dish.
necesitan agua,
So that
tan
the critters
sencillo
can
como
live.
un plato con piedras. Necesitan
Wildlife
compañía.
also needs shelter. The cheapest, easiest shelter you can produce is a
Lo
brush
más,
pile home.
la
And
compañía
critters
más
are
barata que
particular
puedes
because they
encontrar
include
es una,
the different creatures that can live
un
in a
montón,
brush pile home. Brush pile home, basically stack a bunch of logs and then cover it with
un
brush.
montón de mulch, hojas.
Outside of that, there's a myriad of other shelters that you could produce for your wildlife as well. And then safety.
Y después, por
So
último,
trying to
seguridad.
reduce the amount of predators, whether that's
Hay que reducir la cantidad
the other thing that you want to do is reduce the amount of herbicides and pesticides applied to a landscape as well.
y evitar los pesticidas.
So we could talk about any one of these four, but I'm going to focus on food.
Podemos hablar de
It's gonna
estos
be the
cuatro,
most complex, the one that's gonna
pero
require
pero me voy a
some
enfocar en la comida. Esto es lo más complejo y
and it helps build on what Francesco was talking yesterday about, which is how do we create food sources for specific critters that we're trying to introduce into our yards.
¿cómo vamos a crear fuentes específicas de comida para los depredadores
So where do we
y para
start?
las plantas?
We want plants in our yard. We want
¿Cómo
wildlife
vamos
in
a
our yard.
empezar?
We know it's the right thing to do. How do I begin? Well,
En regiones
you don't want to
áridas,
begin with
primero tenemos
planting
que
the
plantar
plant
lluvia
because it's going to
antes
take
de que
a lot of
plantemos nuestros
to plant
jardines.
the plant. So instead, before we plant the plant, we plant the rain. This talk is going to transition pretty quickly into planting the rain talk. So I'm going to talk more about how to harvest rainwater.
Entonces me voy a enfocar en cómo cosechar u obtener esa agua.
Francesca focus on which plants we want to put in the yard for those different species.
Francesca ya se enfocó en
Before we
cuáles
begin into
vamos a
rainwater
plantar.
harvesting, I want to give a plug for this book, Rainwater Harvesting for Drylands and Beyond by Brad Lancaster. Well, both of his books are great. Volume 1, the blue one, is a great introduction to rainwater.
Cualquiera de estos libros es bueno. El volumen 1, el
This is what it's
azul,
great.
por Brad Lancaster,
Next slide.
es cómo cosechar esa agua de lluvia en regiones áridas y más allá.
Why do we want to harvest rainwater?
Bueno, ¿por qué queremos cosechar agua de
Most of us in
lluvia?
this class, we've talked about 96% of surface water in the
Ya
state
hablamos que el
of Arizona
96% del agua superficial en Arizona ha desaparecido desde la llegada de los europeos.
of the rivers in Arizona dried up.
Desde 1920 Arizona se
Means that all of the wildlife
secó.
that's associated
Eso
with
quiere
these
decir que
streams
toda
and
la vida
rivers
salvaje que estaba asociada
is gone too.
también se fue.
So if you walk around Arizona, if you walk around Tucson,
Entonces,
what you see is not healthy.
si pasas
What you
por
see is
Tucson,
something
por
that is the
Arizona,
exact
es algo que no es
negative
saludable.
result of overuse of water. So we need to get back a
Podemos
little bit
evitar el,
in
el
terms of
uso de agua por
in terms
nosotros.
of availability, not only for ourselves, but for wildlife as well. So where is this water gone? Well, there's a few
¿A dónde se
specific
fue esta
reasons,
agua? Sí.
but I'm going to highlight one of the big reasons why this water
Pero
is gone.
voy a
It's the
subrayar
bottom right image there.
una de las razones más importantes por las
You
que
can
ya
see that
no hay
the
agua.
groundwater table, that blue line there,
Esa línea azul que está
dropping
ahí,
when we've got a well
el
that
agua que
pumps up the
pudiéramos
water.
decir que está por encima de la
And as you
misma.
pump up that water, it drops the groundwater table, which impacts the surface water too, because surface water and groundwater are linked.
Es la que impacta el
Groundwater
agua del
drops
suelo,
the surface
porque el
water
agua de la
table.
superficie y el agua del suelo están relacionadas. Entonces, el agua subterránea conduce a la
But
desaparición
that's not the only
aparición de
reason
las
why we
aguas
want to harvest
superficiales.
rainwater. Here are some other less than positive reasons why we want to be harvesting rainwater. And these are
Aquí hay
mostly
otras
predictions.
razones positivas por
These
las
are the models of
echar
what
agua de
the
la
climate
lluvia.
is supposed to be like here in the future.
De acuerdo a las
Look,
predicciones
wildfires.
del cambio climático.
Wildfires have been a big issue here. Probably
Bueno,
gonna be getting
ya
worse.
sabemos, incendios.
It's gonna get hotter.
Se va a poner más caliente.
Different cities, what they're gonna be like, what they're projected to be like, with their current trajectory of climate change. And for example, Phoenix is supposed to get 9 degrees Fahrenheit hotter within the next 80 years, more like Kuwait City, Kuwait.
Por ejemplo, Phoenix se supone que va a aumentar en 9 grados más caliente en 80 años.
Drier,
Se va a volver
and
más
we're
seco
supposed to get more violent storms and floods.
y se supone que vamos
So
a
knowing all of that,
lluvias más
we can
violentas.
try to harvest rainwater to mitigate the impacts of those things in our environment.
Entonces, vamos a tratar de cosechar agua de la lluvia para mitigar estos grandes impactos.
Okay, so where does water go?
Bueno,
Well, on
entonces, ¿a
average,
dónde se va el agua?
a typical Arizonan uses just about 150 gallons of water per day. And if you look at this pie chart, you'll see that most of that water is used outside.
La persona promedio que vive en Arizona usa
So
146 galones de
49%
agua por día.
60% is used for watering our
60%
lawns, watering our plants
usada para
outside,
regar jardines, agua que está
things
fuera de la casa.
that aren't used inside.
Y el
Because of that,
40% cosas que
focus
están
here
dentro de la casa.
is going to be using rainwater harvesting outside
Y es
instead of
por esta
inside.
razón que
If we
me voy a
use
enfocar en cómo cosechar el agua de fuera.
use of outdoor water, we can have the amount of water that we as Arizonans use on a daily basis. Next slide. Yeah, once again,
Una vez más,
59%. So
59% es el agua
bringing water
que se usa.
from underground and using that water to keep our plants alive. we
Usar
can
esa agua para
use
mantener nuestras plantas vivas.
instead to grow plants and to grow food. Next slide. Now, rainwater harvesting. There's a lot of different ways to harvest rainwater.
Hay muchas maneras
Which is great.
de cosechar esta agua de
Many
lluvia.
different ways to harvest rainwater.
Muchas.
Now, there's two specific ways to harvest rainwater.
Hay dos
One
métodos
is
específicos,
active or passive
ya
rainwater
sea
harvesting.
que sea activo o
Active
pasivo.
is when you actively have to turn on a nozzle to get that water out.
Activo
Passive
es cuando tienes
is
que
water
detonar
goes exactly where you want it to go, and you don't have to do a thing.
algo para sacar el agua.
So I want you to think for a
Activo
second,
es,
which of these methods here on this image are active
bueno,
and
si
which
se
are passive?
fijan, aquí vamos a
I'll
ver
give you a
cuál de
hint.
estos
One
métodos
of them is active. The rest
es
are all passive.
activo y cuál es pasivo. Bueno, les voy a dar una pista. Solo hay uno que es
As
activo.
you can see,
Como pueden ver,
a lot more opportunities to
hay
harvest
muchas más
rainwater.
oportunidades para cosechar el agua pasivamente,
They're a lot cheaper
que
than
son
actively harvested.
más baratas que las maneras
For
activas.
example, you just
Muy
shape
simple.
the earth to direct the rainwater where it naturally wants to go, so that way you can use it where it's needed.
Solo hay que darle forma
Some
al
types of
suelo y a
rainwater
la
are
tierra
supposed to do it.
para dirigir el agua donde tú
Drains,
quieras, para que vaya
rivers,
naturalmente a donde se necesita.
basins and berms, to gabion walls, rock swales, and curb cuts. Now, I'm
Paredes,
going to show you a bunch of different methods of doing this. We've been
depósitos,
together with Jordan,
pozos,
other folks from Borderlands.
cortes.
So I'll show you a few of these different projects that
Voy a
we do.
enseñar alguno de esos
The
diferentes.
goal of this talk is really to guys how you can do this in your own yards.
Y les voy a enseñar
You
cómo
can
pueden
use
hacer esto en sus propios jardines.
Next slide. Cisterns are great.
Las cisternas son
It's a way
excelentes.
to store water for on-demand use when you need it.
Es una manera muy sencilla de retener y almacenar agua justo para cuando la necesitas.
So if you want a suitable cistern for a veggie garden, that's going to be $2,000 to $5,000. Not including
¿Quieres una
the
cisterna para tu jardín, para regar tus plantas? Te va a costar de 2,000 a
That's not something
3,000
everyone
dólares.
can afford.
Y pues esa es la
We're
mejor
not
que
going to focus on
puedo
that. As great
pagar.
as they are, we're collaborating with the youth center in Patagonia where they're growing veggies wholly with cisterns. Those cisterns they got through a grant.
Estamos colaborando con una comunidad, un proyecto donde riegan verduras y tienen cisternas.
Cisterns can also be passive rainwater harvesting if you control
Las
the
cisternas
shape.
también pueden ser un método pasivo
So if
de
that cistern
echar
goes
agua,
all the way
de
up,
retenerla.
the overflow can go exactly where you want it to go. And
El
with
flujo
that,
del agua puede ir exactamente a donde tú quieres que vaya.
next slide. There's a bunch of different ways. to
Hay
harvest
muchas
water.
maneras
Where does
de
rainwater
cosechar
come
el
from?
agua. ¿De dónde viene
It
la
could be
lluvia?
property,
¿De dónde viene el agua de
comes
la
from
lluvia?
all of these places. Just follow those blue arrows, and in this example,
En este ejemplo,
rainwater harvesting features that
las
allow
flechas azules
this water where you want it.
es un ejemplo de hacia dónde va
I
el
also want
agua.
to point out there's a few features that are hidden.
También
Along with
quiero
harvesting rainwater,
resaltar que hay algo
you
grandioso
can
de esto.
also harvest gray water. Basically, shower water, laundry water,
Básicamente,
sink water.
también puedes conservar el agua y usarla, así como
Which of
toda
these
la
do you
lluvia,
think
la de la
are
regadera,
outdoor uses? Which of these do you think
la de la
harvests
lavadora,
water on a
la
regular
de
basis?
lavamanos.
And out of these three, it's probably your shower water.
Y probablemente la
One
regadera es la que más
for
produce
use.
agua en
What you want to do
regular.
is move that shower water first before laundry or hand sink water, because that's going to be more water in your yard. Next slide. So passive rainwater harvesting can be viewed
Entonces, el método pasivo de
examples
cosechar agua
we've done
de
in
lluvia
Borderlands.
es uno de los ejemplos
The
que
one
hemos
on
hecho.
the left,
El de
that's
la
a before
izquierdo
and after photo. Those are fish scales. Fish scales are basically rocks,
son como
many
escamas de
limbs
pescado.
that are overlapping. And the whole goal with fish scales is to control flow. So
Y
sheet
esto
flow
es para
a
cosechar el flujo,
liquefaction
para controlar el flujo de agua.
steam and causing erosion downstream flows down in a series of sinks and can infiltrate into the ground. As a result, after just one monsoon season, you can see that perennial grass is returned in large numbers.
Y como resultado pueden ver la foto de abajo.
Moderate level,
Esto fue en un mes.
not a large enough sheet. The image on the right
La imagen del lado
is
derecho.
about a new home.
Esto
Had
es
a
una casa
construction
nueva.
road installed. And the owner said, I don't want two roads going up to the house. Can you turn the other one into a garden?
Y dijo, no
That's the
quiero un
old
camino,
road that we
conviértelo en
diverted
un jardín.
gutters into. And now there's a series of 5 basins.
Y entonces
Basin harvest rainwater.
se hicieron 5 depósitos.
She wanted flowers. So they're all flowering plants.
Y
This just shows the infrastructure before you put the plants in.
esto solo muestra la infraestructura antes de las plantas. que se pusieron.
Okay, so that's rainwater harvesting coming off of the roof, coming off of your
Entonces,
landscape.
esta imagen es agua de lluvia
Also,
viniendo de las
rainwater
raíces.
off of the road.
También puedes obtener agua de lluvia del
Just about
camino
as much rainwater you could possibly want off of a road.
y puedes obtener
If you live
la
on
cantidad de agua que tú quieras de aquí.
and a curb, that's a fantastic place to harvest rainwater. Here's an example of an eddy swale for a backwater basin.
Este es un ejemplo de un pozo
Techniques for harvesting
y para mí es una de mis técnicas favoritas
because you can put mulch
para cosechar esta agua de lluvia.
Next slide, please. Here's a garden that we put in downtown Patagonia with youth.
Este es un jardín que pusimos en el centro de Patagonia.
We lined this with rocks. And
Pusimos
if you look,
piedras y si se fijan,
kind of in the center of the image, there's a curb cut.
y casi en el centro de la imagen hay una curva.
Concrete curb, so that way water that flows down the street when it's raining
De esta manera,
into this basin
cuando
fills up.
viene el agua por la casa,
Once it's full, water bypasses
podemos
the
retener aquí.
keeps going down the
El agua entra al
street.
sistema
Very first year
así
was a
de
pretty wet year
retención.
in Patagonia, and this filled up 20 or 30 times. When you add up all of the water that fills into this basin, that's a pretty significant amount of water that goes back into
Y en
the
realidad es una cantidad de agua muy importante y considerable que llega aquí.
What's nice about this is that this has a bunch of mulch in it as well.
Y también lo bueno de esto es que tiene mucho mulch.
When it's full, you can put mulch in because water's not flowing through the system.
Y entonces de esta manera el
As
agua no
water
se-
flows through the system, that takes all the mulch away with it. And mulch is really important for rainwater.
mulch es muy importante.
Okay, so we're talking about rain gardens. What is a rain garden?
Entonces estamos hablando, ¿qué es un jardín de lluvia?
A rain garden is basically a regular garden that fills up when it rains.
Simplemente es un jardín regular
Basically, it's a
que
sun
recolecta el agua de la lluvia
actually collects water.
y la almacena,
That water in
particularmente
the
en el suelo.
We talked about tanks, cisterns that store that water in.
Estuvimos hablando de tanques y
Same idea,
cisternas
but we're storing it in the ground.
que mantienen esta agua.
This can be dirty water like the road.
Esta puede ser agua
You can
sucia
filter out some of those toxins with grasses.
y se puede
You can
filtrar
take the
con
water off of your roof and
estos
grow
pastos
plants or native plants.
y puedes crecer
There's
plantas
a lot of
nativas.
different ways to make a rain garden.
Hay muchas diferentes maneras de hacerlo.
So now we know what it is.
Ah.
Why do we want to do this?
Ya que sabemos
There's a lot of
qué
reasons.
es, ahora, ¿por qué lo queremos
One is the
hacer?
groundwater table. We talked about how little water there is.
Estuvimos hablando de qué tan poquita agua.
Putting more water in the ground, we can
Sí.
help refill those aquifers.
Entonces, al tener más agua en
And
el
filtered
suelo,
water.
podemos volver a llenar
Putting
estos
in the
mantos.
right plants such as grasses, we can get toxins out of waters.
Podemos quitar
Naturally
toxinas del
remove
agua
out of that
que
water.
naturalmente no se quitarían.
We can reduce flooding.
Podemos
Flooding is
reducir inundaciones.
kind of counterintuitive with how dry it is here. But by having these places where some of the water goes, that means less water is going where we don't want it to be. We can use this water to feed plants.
También podemos usar esta agua para alimentar las plantas,
Depending on which plants we
apoyar la vida silvestre. Podemos también secuestrar el carbono.
made out of carbon. So the more plants and the bigger plants that we can support with,
Entre más grandes sean las plantas que podamos
the
apoyar,
bigger impact our yards can have on global
más
warming.
impacto van a tener nuestros jardines en secuestrar el carbono.
Food, if that's what we
Podemos crecer alimentos si eso es lo que queremos.
And we can reduce the urban heat island effect. by
Podemos
creating
reducir el
with our
efecto del calor.
We can also save money. Takes money to
Ahorramos
power
dinero.
our homes.
Todo lo que es
Pay for
factura de
water
agua
bills.
y comida,
Instead of spending that water on our yards and spending that money on that water for our yards, we can save money on water and on food if that's what we're growing as well. And finally, rain gardens are really low maintenance.
y finalmente, pues,
That rain
estos
garden I
jardines
showed you in Patagonia,
requieren
I
un
think
poco
we did this
mantenimiento.
in the last year. That's not bad. Next slide. Okay, so if your goal is to put in a rain garden,
Entonces, si tu meta es poner un jardín de lluvia,
identify the catchment area.
primero tienes que
Look from the
identificar
road
dónde
facing
está
the
el
road.
área
You're gonna be able to
para
cover
que
the whole road.
comience
So instead, build as big a basin as you could possibly
a retener el agua.
and you can fit in that space. After you figure out the catchment area, which if it's on your roof, you can calculate the area of that roof.
Ya que identificaste esta área, si es,
How
por
much
ejemplo,
water flows
el
and if it's
techo,
gonna rain. Here in Arizona, the biggest rains I've seen are about 3 inches in about 45 minutes. I've seen that twice.
aquí en Arizona las lluvias más
So I try to
abundantes que he
control my
visto es de
basin
3 pulgadas
to get
en
the
40
most rain based on what
minutos.
that catchment area is. Once I figure out what the catchment area is, I then figure out the path of water from that
Después de
catchment
identificar
area,
esta área,
from that roof,
pues me doy cuenta cuál es el
from
camino que
the
sigue,
road, whatever it is,
de las
figure out the
raíces, del
path
camino,
that water goes.
de la calle.
Of course, that's gravity. Next slide. Then I try to identify a suitable place to infiltrate that water.
Después
That
voy a
place
localizar
is
un
rain
lugar
garden.
que sea el
Can't be
adecuado
flat, it can't be on a super
para
high
infiltrar
angle
esa agua.
unless you want to build a terrace. It needs to be pretty close to where the water naturally goes.
Y entonces debe estar muy cerca de
Hopefully,
donde
if
el
you're setting
agua
this up
fluye
for
naturalmente.
utilities, it needs to be 10 feet away from the foundation of a building to not affect any structures near there.
Y bueno, hay que ponerlo a
You're
10
going to want
pies
to consider how
de la
cleanliness
base de
and
la
wildlife
construcción de
predation because
las que quieres afectar.
you're planting plants for wildlife, wildlife are going to want to eat it.
Si estás
There's
plantando
a few other things you might
plantas
want to
para
consider.
la vida salvaje,
Can you create some shade on a building to also reduce your energy costs? You want to create shade on a parking area or an outdoor space that you like to hang out in.
bueno, también hay otros beneficios. Puedes crear sombra en la construcción, en un área de estacionamiento o simplemente sombra en un lugar abierto.
What are some of the added benefits? What are some of the other functions that we can stack into this?
Puedes usar el agua para uso de
For
casa.
example, can we get some food out of there?
Podemos
Some
hacer
medicines,
comida,
medicine,
medicina, lavar.
like soapberry, what we talked about earlier today.
Y entonces, en este caso lo pondrías cerca de la cocina o de puertas.
If you're going to do that, of course, you're going to want to plant it near your garden or near your kitchen or doors so that way you get easy access using your
Claro, si lo quieres hacer así, asegúrate de hacer
try to get easy
esta
access.
área cerca.
And with every rain garden, you're going to want to think about overflow. Okay, if and when we get 4 inches of rain instead of 3, where's that water going to go? It's going to go into my living room? Or is it going to go somewhere else?
Bueno, si tengo mucha agua y hay un sobreflujo de agua, ¿a dónde va a ir? ¿A mi sala o
This is another
a otro lugar?
principle that's helpful to think about, and that's passive solar design.
Este es otro principio que te puedo
Basically,
ayudar.
how can we plant trees
un
around our yard,
Diseño pasivo
shade when we need it,
de un solar.
and allow sun when we need it? So, can you put your rain garden in a spot where you can support evergreen trees on the west, deciduous trees on the east, maybe some fruit trees on the north side of your house here in the northern hemisphere. You want to swap that if you're living in the southern hemisphere.
Aquí puedes diseñar un sistema que te ayude a crecer cierto tipo de árboles en el norte, en el oeste,
Okay.
cierto tipo de plantas en el este
Plants.
y en el sur.
So why do we want to use native plants? There are so many reasons. Can't
Bueno,
go-
ahora, ¿por qué las plantas nativas?
And Jessica talked all about why native plants yesterday. Go look at her slides, but here are some highlights.
Porque
About
son
it.
adaptadas a la sequía,
Basically, they're adapted to the
son de bajo mantenimiento y costo, las plagas, usan menos fertilizantes y también es menor la preparación del suelo. También usas menos agua suplementaria.
Native plants are oftentimes deep rooted. Not always the case, but deep roots allow for more drought adaptation.
Las plantas nativas muchas veces tienen raíces muy profundas. Sus raíces crecen hacia abajo.
Native plants are low maintenance.
Entonces,
Because predator
puede
insects
ser que
are
usen,
adapted to eat
que aguanten más.
that feed on the insect.
Son más capaces de filtrar los contaminantes
Fertilizer
y apoyan a los polinizadores locales y la vida
of course, you need
silvestre.
less supplemental water if you're choosing the right plant. If you're planting sycamore, you're gonna need a lot of supplemental water. Native plants, for example, grasses are better able to filter pollutants. And most importantly, they support local pollinators and larvae. That's why I like them. Next slide. When properly placed around the yard, regionally appropriate
Cuando
plants
son adecuadamente puestas en el
provide
jardín,
passive rainwater harvesting.
las plantas apropiadas para esa región pueden
You
sobrevivir,
can have beautiful gardens
incluso prosperar,
here
solo con la recolección pasiva de
full
agua de
harvesting
lluvia.
period on rainwater. And they'll produce beautiful plants, beautiful
Y producir plantas hermosas, plantas, jardines hermosos.
Now, one other reason why we want to support native plants is because while they're beautiful to us, they're critical to the survival of our native wildlife.
Y otra de las razones por las que queremos producir estas plantas nativas no es solo porque se ven hermosas,
Again,
sino porque nos ayudan a conservar
those native plants
las
are really
especies,
critical for
que en este momento es crítico
Next slide.
para su supervivencia y desarrollo.
Okay, so we talked about native plants. and how
Entonces,
those
ya hablamos de
plants
plantas
adapted.
nativas, se pueden ir adaptando.
Here are
Estos
four native
son
plants, all four of which I love to put in gardens.
Estas cuatro,
Each of these four allows for different amounts of water and needs different amounts of water based on where they live.
estas cuatro plantas necesitan diferentes cantidades de agua, todo depende de dónde viven.
Creosote. Creosote need a lot of water or very little water? No water. Take the water away. All right, bottom left. What's that plant?
Del lado izquierdo,
It's a grama grass.
de abajo,
Blue grama, nice. The blue grama grass. Blue grama grass. Little water, medium water, lots of water. Low, medium. Nice. Top right.
del lado derecho superior. ¿Qué planta es?
Not a butterfly bush. It's a small tree.
Es un árbol pequeño.
That is an elderberry. And an elderberry needs
Es un elderberry.
high amount.
Y necesita de mediano a mucha agua.
It flowers during that critical dry period, and it produces a delicious berry as well. It's a good metaphor. Look at all those functions stacked on top of each other.
Fíjense en todo lo que puede hacer.
What plant we got there?
Y
Sycamore.
El
No
sycamore
water needed for the sycamore, right?
no necesita agua
Sycamores grow where there's like flowing water, just about only.
y solo crece donde está la
Although all four of
corteza
these
de
are
agua.
native plants, I just want to
Aunque
underline
todas
that
estas
all
plantas son
native plants
nativas,
need the same amount of water.
solo quiero
Instead of putting
resaltar que
negative
no todas las plantas necesitan la misma cantidad de agua.
make sure that you're putting in the right type of native plant based on
Solo
its
asegúrate de ponerlas en el lugar adecuado.
next slide. Okay. This is a great resource.
Muy bien, este es un gran recurso.
So the Pollinator Partnership has created these guides for each different region of the United States.
Los pollinators,
So if
la
you live in
organización,
California,
ha creado
one of these
esto para
guides
cada una de las plantas.
full of great information, but I am going to highlight this table here.
Pero bueno, voy
This
a
table
resaltar
shows when different plants
esta
flower.
tabla aquí.
So if you're trying to get flowers, once again during that critical time,
Entonces, por ejemplo,
when
quieres
there's
obtener
not much
flores
flowering in Arizona, May, June,
cuando no hay
July,
muchas flores en Arizona,
this is where
mayo,
you can
junio.
figure out what's flowering. Or you
Y
can follow the
esto es muy útil porque te das cuenta qué es lo que va a florecer.
This guide is perfect for this elevation.
Esta guía es
I
perfecta
recommend
para
using this
esta
around
elevación,
about
para esta
4,000
área.
feet, maybe about 3,000 feet in Arizona, New Mexico.
A lo mejor entre 3,000 y
This is a lower
4,000
elevation guide as well.
pies de elevación.
Next slide. Native plants. You can also eat them.
Plantas nativas.
We are really lucky living here in this ecoregion because there are so many native plants that we
Somos
can
muy
also eat.
afortunados de vivir en esta región ecológica,
Was talking
porque hay
about
muchos tipos de plantas.
saguaro cactus.
El saguaro.
It's so good. But there's a lot of really delicious fruits around here.
Pero hay
From the
frutas
mesquite
grandiosas.
to the prickly pear, to the feral cactus,
El nopal,
greens.
el
These
cactus.
are wildlife supporting plants that can also support our belly.
Estas plantas apoyan la vida salvaje.
Put a plug in for those. Next slide. Okay, so I'm going to give a couple case studies for rain gardens.
Bueno, ahora voy a mostrar un par de estudios que hemos
Way back
hecho,
almost 10
casos de
years ago,
estudios
this is
para
what this specific site
respecto
in Idaho
a
used to look like.
la captura de esta agua de lluvia.
Gutters off these buildings
Es la
go
preparatoria en
down
Patagonia en
across the
2014.
grass, and then into the central, you can kind of see a grate where that water was then just taken off site.
Al centro pueden
Way to
ver
get
un
water
área.
off-site. Not a great way to get water into the ground.
Y pues no
High
estaba
school
muy bien diseñado
middle school
para
science class
obtener el agua.
designed an outdoor classroom here and then installed it. Next slide. So this is partway through construction in 2016. You can see
Entonces,
rainstorm, these
aquí
terraces that we've built,
vamos a la mitad de la
all full of
construcción.
water.
Aquí pueden ver
All of that water would have just gone into the grate.
que en el 2016 se diseñaron estas
It showed
estructuras.
the
De otra manera, esta agua nunca hubiera estado aquí, se hubiera ido.
also dug that has some native fish in it. Next slide. Watch the size of this mesquite through these images.
Vean el tamaño del árbol mezquite a lo largo de estas imágenes.
You can see the mesquite's getting bigger.
Pueden ver que el mezquite empieza a crecer.
In the back, you can see there's a cistern hidden way in the back. And behind this little ramp, there's a little pond.
Después de esta rampa hay
There's some concrete, mortared
un charco de agua
that
y
leads
detrás está la cisterna.
serves as the outdoor classroom. Next slide. So this is after 2 years of
Mm.
harvesting the
Esto
rainwater,
es después de 10 años de
how
cosechar el agua.
are and how shaggy that mesquite now is.
Puedes ver
Next
qué
slide.
tan grandes están estas plantas. Dan mucha sombra.
And after 3 years of monsoons, it's basically a jungle. So
Y
it's
después de 3 años de lluvias, esto es prácticamente una selva.
Okay, here's another case study.
Este es otro caso de estudio.
How can you harvest rainwater in a
¿Cómo puedes cosechar agua de lluvia en una casa?
Well, this is the before photo.
Esta es la foto de antes.
Before the walls were put up, before any basins were dug. You can
Antes
see
de
that,
levantar las
it's
paredes,
basically just an earthen flat expanse.
se pueden dar cuenta que esto era una explanada así, grande,
So
sin
what this
nada.
landowner wanted to do was
Entonces lo que este dueño quería hacer,
habitat for
este
wildlife.
propietario, era
That was his goal.
cosechar el agua, era su meta.
What we did was we harvested water off of the roof in these gutters,
Lo que
drained them
hicimos
this way,
fue
and then connected those gutters to a series of basins. He didn't want
atrapar
to
el agua
Canadian scale.
mediante los bajantes.
So you can see here after one monsoon season,
Entonces
plant
puedes ver
acquisition,
que después de
these
una
gutters
lluvia,
are doing pretty well.
es que
The grasses are
esos
growing.
bajantes están funcionando muy bien.
By the way, grasses are one of the most important larval food sources for butterflies out there.
Por cierto, los
One of the
pastos
species of
es
that
una de
has
las primordiales
this
fuentes para
butterfly,
de alimento para las mariposas.
whose caterpillars eat it are actually blue granite grass.
Y bueno, luego vienen las orugas.
So this is after 2 monsoon seasons.
Esto es después de 2 lluvias.
You can turn a site from dusty barrenness to a
Y
lush
puedes convertir un espacio
So
que solo era
this is
tierra
by here
en un bello
in
jardín.
10 years. And the amount of carbon that's being stored and sequestered on this site as well.
Y también la cantidad de carbono que ha sido atrapado y secuestrado es mucho.
Here's a rabbit brush and a mesquite tree that were planted with it.
Este es un mezquite que se plantó igual después de 2 lluvias.
Corner as well. Next slide.
Siguiente.
This datura plant, we planted, it was in a 1-gallon pot, and after 2 years, turned into a monster.
Bueno,
So
está
this
el
is
tamaño
Rainwater,
de estas
which is the
plantas.
pond that they've got.
Se convirtieron en un monstruo.
Three tombstone rows around it, and you can see it's turned into like sideshow bobcat at the top. Next slide. All right, that's it.
Esto es todo.
Helpful with ideas
Espero que haya sido muy
to
útil
install some rain gardens, to bring
para que
rainwater
puedan
back
instalar
into
sus
your
propios
yard.
jardines en
You
casa.
guys have any questions?
¿Alguien tiene alguna pregunta?
Thanks. Yeah, Caleb. Great question. The question was,
Una pregunta. La pregunta fue,
do you plant in the basins, on the sides of the basins, and how do you know which plants go where?
¿cómo sabes qué plantas van en dónde? Si van
You
en
plant inside the
fuera.
basins, I'll tell you which species those are. There's almost any grass you can, but in particular, saccatone, deergrass,
Bueno, los pastos son magníficos.
and
Estos son unos tipos de pasto que puedes usar.
green spangletop grass. So those are really the big ones that you can plant in there. Really, any grass will be fine. As long as it like infiltrates into the ground. The other plant that does really well in there is Cephalus. That's another one that does great. Yeah.
So I collect all of my rainwater, now, and we know it's like gray water, but gray water not but does it help about the burn the basement if you don't have an extra water that's from
Yeah, so the question was,
Pero la pregunta fue,
Hayden's collecting all of this rainwater off his roof for use in
él está recolectando agua del techo para usar en su casa.
build basins around the yard if the roof water is being used already. And the answer is yeah.
Si el agua del techo ya está siendo usada, la pregunta si debe de construir espacios para que el agua también se detenga en casa. Pues, ¿quieres ver dónde en la propiedad del agua se está moviendo? Para poder colectar agua en esas fincas. Entonces, desde la perspectiva de permacultura, puedes usar esos recursos. Bueno, estoy pensando en otros ejemplos.
Had water flowing down their property and into their front door. Not ideal. So instead, we built a berm and directed that water around and into a basin instead. We directed that water underground through a French drain system, so that way they wouldn't be driving through that.
Había una persona que, bueno, empezamos, el agua pasaba por su puerta frontal, no es buena idea. Entonces tratamos de redireccionar el agua a las cuencas a un lado y después hacer como un drenaje tipo French drain. Y esto fue lo que funcionó.
So the question was,
Entonces, esta pregunta es,
Xavier lives in a place that there's not a lot of flowering plants.
él vive
Yards
en
are
una área donde no hay
flowering
muchas plantas que
plants.
florecen.
Definitely, definitely. So, do you know how many inches of rain you get there per year?
¿Sabes cuántas pulgadas de agua tienes al año?
11 inches of rain, 5 inches of snow. You get more rain than Tucson. And Tucson gets about 11 inches of
11
rain a year.
pulgadas de agua y 5 de nieve.
The diversity of plants there. So I suggest walking around Tucson, going to some native plant nurseries, and seeing.
Te sugiero que te des una vuelta por Tucson y visites,
As long as they can survive at 6,000 feet.
te des cuenta cuáles son las plantas que crecen ahí. Es el
Yeah, it's a great question.
área
So the
es
question was,
similar.
can I plant
Es una pregunta muy buena.
at 6,000 feet that can live at Tucson's elevation of about 2,000 feet?
¿Puedo plantar plantas que viven en 6,000 pies de altura en Tucson?
Mesquite, probably.
Mesquite, probablemente.
So if you go to a native plant nursery, say.
Si vas a un vivero de plantas nativas y dices, quiero flores, ¿qué puedo plantar? Y bueno, una idea es que te des cuenta de ese día. Yo te recomiendo la planta de Apache Bloom. Es una gran planta y plenaria. Plantas de New Mexico.
Yeah, there's a lot of demand.
Hay mucha demanda. Voy a repetir la pregunta.
Is this something that people are adapting and adopting in Patagonia? And the answer is yeah, there's a lot of demand for them. There's not a lot of expertise and there's not a lot of people who are.
La gente que vive en Patagonia es algo que realizan.
There's a young person out there who's looking for a job in Southern Arizona. learn rainwater harvesting. You're gonna have a lot of clients. There's a lot of people interested in it, and
Hay mucha gente en el sur de Arizona que está interesada en
basically design build
estos proyectos de cosechar el agua de la lluvia.
and we've got like 15 people on our client
Y
list.
tendría muchos clientes,
There's a lot of interest in doing this type of thing.
así que hay muchísimo interés en hacer eso.
And we haven't even advertised yet. So as soon as we start advertising, we're gonna land stuff.
Y no tienes ni que promocionarte.
Yeah. So Borderland, the question was, one of the first slides of the presentation was that Borderlands focuses on a restorative economy. And how does this
Uno de
project?
los puntos de la plática es que Borderlands
can get people
se enfoca en una economía restauración.
sinking water into the earth, to growing native plants, to supporting homeowners and empowering homeowners to do the same. then those
Entonces,
folks
si
will
logramos
get
que los propietarios
or one of those other industries that takes people in. So creating
Realizando
more
esto.
avenues for folks to get those jobs or creating those jobs.
Hay muchos trabajos. Podemos lograr que mucha gente trabaje en esto.
Great question. So the question was, for areas that are.
Muy buena
disturbed,
pregunta. La pregunta es, para áreas que están muy áridas,
For example, Russian thistle, tumbleweed, which is one of the big ones that we've got. So the way I like to think about weeds is from a lens of ecology, like so many things in my life that I've been subjecting you to in the last week. And because of that, weeds come in usually when there's a big ground disturbance, just like you said. Russian thistle is a great example of that. A great way to get past weeds is to help build the soil. And the best way to build the soil around here is with mulch. You can kickstart a ground disturbance, an earthquake, a flood, one of those natural ground disturbances. You can go from that to the climax community instead of in hundreds or thousands of years, in just a couple years by mulching. So for me, mulch is the best thing to use because is there going to be Russian thistle? Yeah, totally. But instead of instead of hundreds and hundreds of Russian thistle for years, it's going to be 1 or 2 Russian thistle instead. That's manageable. The other thing I try to do is I try to pack the plants in. So I try to give no opportunities for weeds to come in. And how I do that is I
ahora estamos hablando de las malas hierbas,
put in just
de las hierbas que
that
crecen
way that all that water's that's coming
a un
in
lado de las plantas
soak up
naturales.
and used up.
Yo diría, una de las
Also, some
alternativas
erosion
es
function,
usar mulch.
trying to slow down that water and reduce erosion on the edges. For example, that garden in Patagonia it's right next to the street. It's
Por
lined
ejemplo, este jardín en Patagonia,
so that way
centro,
water or the highland on the side doesn't slough off and erode into the lowland below. And it's really beautiful. Because of that garden, the town of Patagonia, we got more grants, and the town of Patagonia fast-tracked more rain gardens in town. And I'll show you videos of those. Any more questions? All right, thank you.
¿listo? Gracias.
Thank you, Caleb.
Gracias, Kayla.
Tomorrow is Friday. Our next speaker at 11:30 in the morning is going to be Lisa Haynes, sorry, who is a
Mañana
wildlife
viernes.
biologist and also co-founder of the
Vamos a
University of
tener a
Arizona
Lisa Haynes
Wildcat
de
Research
mañana.
and Conservation Center. She'll be presenting on jaguar monitoring status. and
Ella va a estar
conservation on the
presentando
borderlands. Our
Mm.
next speaker is gonna be at 3 p.m. It's gonna be Joaquín Murrieta Saldivar,
Y a las 3 de la tarde,
Education Director at
Joaquín
Borderlands
Murrieta,
Restoration Network.
que es el director
He's
del
gonna be presenting on
área de
Man's
conservación.
spiritual relationship with water.
Va a estar presentando
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
la relación cultural y espiritual del agua en las fronteras.